Hi guys, Jack here. I'm just taking 5 minutes out of my training day just to review a product that I've had for about 3 months now from a company called Brewster Labs. Now, I'm a big fan of myofascial release, whether it be foam rollers, this one, or even funkier foam rollers with funny shapes in, down to your stick rollers, your balls. I'm a big fan, and every night I try and do at least 20 minutes to half hour of just myofascial release, get into those areas that are tight. When you're an OCR racer, it's not just running, there's lots of lifting, carrying, upper body movements that get your shoulders tight, your lats, your core, your back, your feet. So when these guys came out and brought this gun out, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. They're quite expensive, they're not cheap. This one retails at $269, so $270, and then the baby brother we'll talk about in a second is $190, so 200 quid. So they're not cheap. So I reached out to these guys and said, well look, I'd like to give one a go, see if they work, and then I'll review, hence the review now. So what do you get for £270? Okay, so in this little package, let's just rotate that up so you can see. So in this little package you get obviously the charger, so mains USB charger, the gun itself, which stands about 12 inches tall. It's reasonably heavy, it's not ridiculously heavy, it's a one-hand job, and then a few of these attachments. Now, if I'm honest, I tend to stick with the two attachments. I don't tend to go too far away from those two, but we can get through that in a minute. The gun itself, basically you whack an attachment in. Let's just use the ball for an example. On and off on the bottom. So on and off, and then you get 9 levels. So you can go right down to 1, which as you can see, nice and gentle, and then it goes all the way up to 9. And then you can just work that wherever you feel tight, worked. Tend to keep it moving. Very similar to how you'd use a ball, how you'd use a foam roller. The only benefit to this, or huge benefit to this, is the fact that you can get in those areas like where they're actually hurting. So like I say, I did a bag carry the other day and I feel like my traps and my delts and lats are aching a little bit. Rather than trying to get on the floor and find one amount of room in my house to get on the floor with a bin, with a roller or what have you, this thing you can get straight in there. And I quite like the old sleek design of it being longer, because then you can literally get right in the back where you need to. And quite frankly, after a few seconds, if you find the trigger points, the points where you're struggling with, this thing really does, and it really does work. They do. So basically, the science behind it is it just helps to promote new blood cells going to that area, get rid of old lactic acid blood, and brings in new blood, new oxygen, therefore to help recover quicker. Does it replace a foam roller? Mostly yes, I think it does. I think, well, actually, having had this, I barely get on my foam roller anymore. The only time I get on my foam roller now is if I want to get something a little bit more vicious into my calves, because I can then put a lot of pressure on that. But in general, for everywhere where a little bit smaller muscles, upper body definitely, this for me is my new go-to tool. However, I do still use a lacrosse ball. I still don't think you can go wrong with a lacrosse ball. And I still do use electrostimulation. So it doesn't replace all of my myofascial release, but it definitely replaces the foam roller for me. Not only that, it's only this size. I don't even take this thing around, but it's only small, so you can do it anywhere, anytime, any place. One caveat though, and I found this when we were going to Europe, Spartan Race Europeans. Don't call it a gun in an airport. They don't tend to like that. I actually missed a plane because I called it a gun and I got drawn off to one side for about a half hour, and then that made me miss my plane. But that's a different story. So yeah, don't call it a gun. We worked out that a massage machine is a better way of describing this. So yeah, let's talk about the heads. So like I say, there's 6 different attachments with this, 5 different attachments with this. You've got a simple ball head. Okay, which I would say, yes, soft, but not, not still pretty good there. So it's pretty good, rounded. You can get in most difficult areas into ball joints, you know, into the neck and stuff. That's pretty good. Flat, I use that for my bigger muscles, so like my quads, my calves, abductors, glutes, I was about to say arse. So yeah, good for thumping down on bigger muscle areas. And then the ones that I don't really get too involved, I'm not sure when I would use that. I mean, I have tried it, obviously, and then the single point as well. I do tend to get in the soles of my feet with the points, but if you get a trigger point, especially if you're like me and you run minimal shoes, those soles of the feet can be painful. So if you get that on 9 in the soles of your feet, you're going to know about it. And then, throwing it everywhere, the scraper. So the scraper is, I tend to work up and down. I don't want to hold it in one place too much. So there's a little notch in there. I don't know if you can see a little notch, and then a little notch in the gun. So these all just push fit. So they just push in. And then if I was just, for example, in this video, I'll do my forearm. I just keep it moving on that forearm, you know. So I'm not necessarily standing in one place. I'm keeping it moving, getting that blood flow round, getting that new oxygenated blood to the muscles. Whereas before, especially to do that type of area, I'd get a golf ball and roll a golf ball in. Bit tedious. Always lose golf balls as well. So ideal for that, especially. That's where for me it's become a main go-to, is because actually you can get into those real specific areas for myofascial release. So yeah, for one of the most powerful guns on the market, Booster Pro is definitely the way forward. They do have it has a little brother, a little sister, which basically is just the Booster Lite. I think it's a little bit more cumbersome size-wise. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. It's not as powerful and it's a little bit louder. This one, yeah, it's. Let's put it this way: I can still watch TV and hear the TV with this on, although I do tend to annoy the rest of the house, i.e. the wife. But this is the Pro 2 massage gun, and you can buy the smaller one. Like I say, this one retails at the minute currently on their website at $270, and the baby brother is at $200. I can also knock off an extra £10 with my personal code, which is Booster, OCR Booster. So OCR Booster, all capitals, and you'll get an extra 10% on with £10 off with that code. Like I say, got any questions? Put them in the comment below. Happy to you know, if anybody see me, I'm happy to let you have a go. Do you know what I mean? Especially at a race, it's next Spartan race or what have you. I tend to carry it with me all the time where I go, especially for those double race weekends where you race a Saturday and then you race a Sunday. I will definitely be having this, because just to be able to sit in the room and massage between races is ideal, really. So I would highly recommend something like this, especially you're into your myofascial release and haven't taken that next step. This is the next step. So go on to boosterlab.co.uk and check it out, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.